Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Playfly Varsity Overwatch 2 League. We have a great match here today. I am Zwak. This is my other caster,
This is
Lukish.
Lucas, Lukash. It's my first time casting, so we getting into things. This is exciting.
Exactly, and we have a great match today. We have RIT Esports versus, I believe at the beginning it was Michigan
Michigan Tech, yeah.
Tech. So both some great tech schools going at each other. And so this is one of the first games of this season so far, or very early into the season. So very exciting to see what these teams pull out.
Sweet. Okay, so right now, we'll kind of just feel out the vibe, see what's going on with these teams. Interested to see what everyone feels comfortable playing. Excited to see a good match.
Exactly. Both these teams going to be kind of specializing in usually certain aspects. Usually teams have one player that they really enjoy kind of building around, choosing compositions based on that specific strategy. So going to be looking for that into this next match, seeing which are the players that are kind of defining, setting the tempo going into these fights is a big thing to look forward to going into. Is there anything else we should look for?
Honestly, I'm excited to see what tank they pick. Malga, Sigma. We'll see. We'll see what's really strong against these teams.
Exactly. And even right now, there's a lot of variants. I mean, you see some Ramattra, you see some Queen come out. Diva was a hugely popular pick not too long ago, but still is popular in a lot of sense. And a big character that has kind of become way more popular recently is Juno.
Yes, Juno alt. I will always say this. Her alt is probably the best alt in the game. Um, I'm interested to see if we'll see some Orisa though. I think recently she just got some buffs. Maybe shut down some of these tanks.
Exactly. Well, we're going into our first map, which will be Antarctic Peninsula. So, what should we expect going into this?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a dive comp from one of these teams. I think it's really strong right now. A ball pick would honestly be really cool to see. I really want to see what RIT has to offer.
Exactly. Certainly something you could do on a map like this ball. Not impossible, far from impossible. But usually on this point, you do see a lot of comps. We might see the dive, but also brawl and poke are not too unpopular themselves either. But currently, we're seeing both teams opt for the Ariso, who was buffed fairly recently.
Mm-hmm. And both Juno Brig, I really like this. Brig can absolutely shut down anyone that dives her. I think it's great. But with the May Ash, they're just really trying to lock down uh, anyone that comes at them.
Yeah, exactly. You want supports that won't collapse just by looking at them right now. And both Juno and Brig fulfill that role pretty well.
I like the Cassidy pick, honestly. The Genji pick might be a really tough against this May Ash and Brig, but we'll see what RIT has to offer on the Genji.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a soul looking for that opening pick, but not going to be able to find anything. Now, both Orisas just spraying each other down, looking for that wall. The Juno rings coming out from both sides here, and Frost getting extremely low, fanning that hammer, but eventually will fall as a massive dynamite from Jolo ends up picking down the RT Orange players, and now will have to rotate out. A soul also going incredibly low, but the picks are there, and now Michigan Tech able to take the first map win. Or first fight win.
Yeah, both teams really wanted to contest the high ground right there, and it was an absolute brawl up top. I think it was really important for Michigan Tech to get that high ground. We'll see. We'll see what they do next with it.
For sure. I mean, we are seeing them kind of RT Orange reassemble on this high ground now, rotating down to the bottom. But unfortunately, Michigan Tech has a lot of space. Seb getting incredibly low there, but eventually will get the speed boost from the ring and currently trying to stuff the Orisa. But early into the
Oh
fight,
my
the
goodness.
Blizzard is there. Seb no longer has the golden available to get out, and that will be another fight win for Michigan Tech.
Geji trying his best to bring back some sort of trade, but could not get anything in a room full of four people.
Yeah, did not look good. And now we're seeing going into this next fight, Michigan Tech has 3 ultimates available to them. They only spent the Blizzard last time, and RIT Orange has really struggled to match the pace that they are charging these ultimates.
Yeah, they really want to contest this high ground. We see a Juno alt pop out and a Blade. We'll see what he can do with it. Doesn't look like he can get much, unfortunately, with the especially with a Brig alt on his side.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with that, they are able to get some picks though, and it looks like the Bob is going to come out trying to find Rescue Toast, but the support, the peel is there. Won't be able to do that now after they burst this Bob. RIT Orange looking to re-engage and take the objective. Michigan Tech kind of having to back off. Cooldowns coming out from the Arisas becoming incredibly vulnerable. So looking for the pick, but won't be able to find it. But now RIT Esports, they took the point, but the respawns are back for Michigan Tech, who are staging for a second engagement.
I really like what RIT's doing right now. Right now they have alt advantage. It looks like Michigan Tech just had to blow as much as they could to hold RIT back, but it just was not enough, especially with that Bob.
Deadeye is going to be able to find Juno, which is an incredible pick early into that fight. And now, shortly after, the rest of Michigan Tech will fall. A very cheap fight for RIT Orange. Like you said, they've done a great job managing their ultimates. Jolo, though, going
Ash
to find
getting a
a soul
trade.
right before falling. But yeah, really good ult management from RIT Orange, only spending that 1 ultimate for the fight win. But Isaac has the Blizzard.
I really like what RIT's doing, making sure that this high ground stays theirs, and holding their ults just to make sure that they don't waste all of them in one fight. Arisa with an insane ult pick.
Yeah, Seb finding 2 there ended up being incredibly impactful. And once again, it's just a single ultimate able to get the fight win. And now RT at 60% progress on the objective, trying to wrap up this fight, get the last remaining picks. Seb really did a great job applying pressure. Isaac tried to put the wall up to block the rotation away, but eventually was able to sustain long enough for the peel to be there.
We saw a little bit of Juno getting aggressive, pushing with the Genji, making sure that they secure any kill that they can get. Both Junos have ults right now, so we'll see what either team can do with it. Ash trying to get a cheeky dynamite up top, but misses, unfortunately.
Sholo, though, will
This would
find
be
a
an
soul.
insane blizzard.
Ults are coming out. The rally and both Juno ults going to be intersecting here. Cheesebread finds the pick onto Rescue Toast, applying the cheese to the toast, and will find a second onto Seb. Now is YOLO looking to wrap things up for Michigan Tech. They have won the point in RIT at 90%, but unfortunately
Genji
does
Blade?
not have the point. The Blade not going to be able to find anything, and it looks like the first map will be going, or the first part of the map will be going to Michigan Tech.
And it's really tough there because we can see how beneficial it is to win that first fight and get objective first. Really, all they needed to do right there is just win one fight and absolutely shut them down in overtime.
Exactly, and that is what we saw. The ultimates really being incredibly important there, except for that final fight where it was really their neutral play that made a big difference and just able to isolate Michigan Tech, constantly showing that they could isolate players very easily using their Blizzard, and were very successful in that regard.
I really liked what RIT did with their ults. I think they used them properly, got at least one pick with each one they used, and it absolutely turned fights at some points, but unfortunately just down to that first fight, it just you can't bring back.
Both these teams now looking to open up this fight. And Savage for the win will find Frost incredibly quickly, and Rescue Toast also falling just as well. That one pick really opened it up, and RIT really, or Michigan Tech really applying the pressure there and forcing RIT to back up. Going to be able to take this first point without too much trouble.
Not at all, actually. They were able to zone off that Orisa, and their Orisa just absolutely diffed right there. Kept moving forward and made sure that no one else could push up.
Yeah, the speed change for Arisa is really why you're seeing her so much, and it's been incredibly useful to now just run people down while you're golden using the Juno rings. And Frost looking for a pick, the backline getting extremely low, but now Seb somewhat isolated. The rest of Michigan Tech is there to peel, but Assault is able to find the pick onto Isaac to open up the point. RIT now taking the objective, but not before Jack Black ends up falling, and now RIT set up on the point, but Michigan Tech looking to quickly re-engage. The ring is there, allowing the Arisa to just throw herself into the backline, and will be able to do so. Frost trying to take the duel, but unfortunately will lose as Assault ends up getting the trade. Now Seb trying to back up, giving a little bit of space to Michigan Tech, who have really pushed up incredibly far, and the picks are currently in their favor. Now Seb walled, not able to rejoin with the team, and will get picked out, partially thanks to the Juno ult, which will also help them clean up Rescue Toast and Assault, as well as Blackjack.
I really liked what Seb was doing, getting a little aggressive, trying to get as much picks and much damage down as he could, but unfortunately he just could not get one of those picks to win the fight.
Absolutely, and now we're seeing them regroup, but RT has ultimates available to them. And will use it. Isaac, the Blizzard, came down, not really able to find too much, but the counter Blizzard is there, and Assault and Frost will find their own picks. Frost finding a second onto the Savage for the win, and now YOLO trying to even things up, but it will go the way of RIT Orange.
RIT right now with a huge ultimate advantage, 4-1. Let's see what they end up doing with this. Bob could really change the course of the next fight, though. All it takes is one good Bob placement, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, JRB looking for that opening pick, just applying pressure, but now we're seeing Jolo on the far flank trying to get an extreme angle here, and will be able to do so, able to throw the Bob onto the high ground, applying a lot of pressure, forcing Seb to back off, but the Juno ult is there to keep RIT in the fight, but not currently within the radius right now, and just Michigan Tech backing up
Seb again
super
getting
far,
aggressive.
but Seb, the ultimate is there, able to find one, and Michigan Tech going incredibly low. It will be RIT Orange cleaning up this fight, and now it's just the Brig falling shortly after, potentially with a little bit of stagger, just to see how long they can get that wave respawn off.
Seb absolutely making sure Michigan Tech cannot do anything. Walking forward and just pressing Q, absolutely just destroying any sort of push Michigan Tech has.
Jolo is able to get the touch and will be able to touch once more, but now with no cooldowns available, it's going to be Rescue Toast that is able to pick off Jolo. The Juno ult is there, though, on the side of Michigan Tech, trying to make a difference, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it will be able to do so. The Blizzard on the side of RIT is going to be able to find two, and now JRB going down. It's going to be Frost finding Isaac, and one by one, the members of Michigan Tech will be falling. Just a Juno on the high ground, and just one more point for RIT Orange on Antarctic Peninsula.
I think it was really tough there for Michigan Tech to actually get anything useful out of their fights. Seb was getting extremely aggressive and using his ult to his advantage as much as possible. You know, Arisa being that big tank, she can just E and then walk out and get as much healing as she needs.
Yeah, and we have seen both these Arisas get a lot of value with their kit so far, really. I mean, that's why you see Arisa so often. You can really use her to brawl now that you're less impacted by the speed negatives of the Golden, of your primary fire. It's less of an issue now.
Looks like a Lucio speed boost and then switch to Kiriko. I like the Kiriko here for a cleanse. I think that's super important against a Bob May.
For sure, absolutely. On the trade-off of your backline, just being a little bit more vulnerable, but it's going to be
goodness.
Frost that's looking vulnerable, getting extremely low. Isaac not able to find the picket, but now the speed is there, but the wall splitting up the team, but not before Zeb finds Isaac in that fight, and now the Ash is just dueling each other. YOLO trying to find the pick, but won't be able to do so, not yet at least. And RIT stage on the high ground. The wall is there to try and isolate a fight on the point, and JRB kind of getting swarmed right now. Both both players looking at RIT, but the attention is split, but it's a Soul that ends up finding Savage somewhat in just the middle of that fight randomly. They were kind of getting surrounded, but now it's RIT that is surrounding Michigan Tech. But Jolo finds a pick onto Blackjack. It's still incredibly close, but Jolo will fall, and eventually the ice block breaks, and Isaac gets cleaned up.
I really like Jolo's position and Cheesebread's position in that fight. They really used their line of sight on the enemy to just absolutely deal damage from the side without getting focused. Um, their tank did their best, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, really good job taking angles, but unfortunately it didn't make much of a difference in the end. Just the upfront brawl was hugely impactful, but Isaac ends up getting hit by the dynamite and falls incredibly early with the cooldowns available. Not going to use it, not going to have Blizzard in this fight. RIT trying to chase some more picks after that opening one, but will not be able to find Jolo. Now RIT giving back that space as the respawn comes back in.
I really like what Jolo's doing, looking for off angles, hopefully to get at least some sort of pick out of it. But
Oh, but Seb finds Savage, and Frost, the Bob, not going to do much, and it's going to be Jolo's Bob that tries to make a difference, but once again the dynamite making one more pick off. Isaac has the Blizzard, but will not decide to use it, as RIT has already gotten an incredible advantage on the
oh
fight.
my
That won't
goodness.
stop JRB though, who does find a soul, but not much more.
Let's see what RXT can do with Arisa ult and Brig ult. That should be good enough for them to push in and push them back to their spawn. Juno ult could save Michigan Tech against a Arisa ult, but we'll see what's next.
Yeah, this Blizzard needs to be big. The Bobs are both out, so those are really impactful ultimates that you won't see going into this. There's no Kitsune, but there is a Juno ult on the side of Michigan Tech that RT will have to play around, but not before Frost finds Jolo incredibly early into that fight. The Juno ult going to be coming down. The Arisa spin, it will connect. Unfortunately, the ice
Huge.
block does not last long enough, and now RIT looking incredibly strong. JRB going to be going down. It's just the Juno for Michigan Tech won't be able to make anything happen, and Antarctic Peninsula goes the way of RIT Orange.
I really like what we're seeing from Michigan Tech, honestly. I think it's just really tough for them to capitalize on the picks that they are getting, because by the time that happens, the fight is already over. If we saw right there, the Arisa was able to get 2, but her entire team was just gone.
For sure, RIT kind of off to a bit of a slow start, but eventually started picking up steam and eventually had a pretty dominant performance near the end of that. So really great to see, and now very exciting to see what these teams pull out. I mean, we have seen Arisa. Maybe we'll see something else going into the next map.
I really would like to see Isol on Genji again. I think it'd be really cool to see a nice blade from him. I think he just got played a little. Oh, Essel. I think Essel is popping off, honestly. I just don't think he had the opportunity to show his true skill.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to see that going forward. But now it will be the map pick of Michigan Tech, and it looks like, I believe, we will be headed to Numbani. It did very interesting map pick for them. What do you think they're going to run here?
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Rhine, honestly. They really stuck with Arisa on Antarctica. A Sigma could be good. We'll see. Sigma or Ramatra.
For sure. And on that first point, definitely Monkey. Fairly popular pick, just able to kind of not only get around that first choke, that first high ground, but kind of abuse it, just falling down to the ground, applying a lot of pressure. But we will see. It looks like the teams are still kind of deciding what they want to do here. It's kind of up in the air, so very interesting to see. We will probably, if we ever get on another brawl map, we'll see more Arisa, potentially.
Yeah, I think Michigan Tech just really needs to get their footing, find what's working against RIT, and absolutely just punish them when they can.
Yeah, and it has been difficult for them. We saw them get some success in that first match, but the rest of them looking fairly dominant the other way around. So, in a lot of really great May walls from both
Yes.
sides,
Oh
really,
my
just
goodness.
isolating fights. And usually, part of the advantage of running a Risa is your ability to sustain damage. And so, the ice walls, even if you split off the tank, aren't able to get the kill, but you force out a lot of cooldowns as the tank tries to keep themselves alive that your tank didn't have to spend, so you can kind of be on the aggression after
Yes,
that.
exactly. Oh, it looks like it might be King's Row. I wouldn't be surprised if we see May again. I'd really like to see a Widow. This is Widow's map.
Exactly. A little bit of Widow, a little bit of Ash. Definitely see teams go both here. You get a more consistent output from the Ash, but
Hmm.
higher ceiling for the Widow if you can hit the shots.
Yeah, I also Hanzo too. I mean, let's see. I love Hanzo's burst. I wouldn't be surprised if they just use it to push in and really absolutely shut down.
Exactly. Hopefully, we see some of that going into it. But yeah, very interesting. I believe it will be RT's choice as to whether they want to be on the attack or the defense here. So, usually, if you're picking, you want to play the defense, you're expecting to win. You're always expecting to win. So, you want to stop them early and give yourself a really easy attack. So, very common. But some teams have preferences and will pick the attack. So, really just depends on your own strengths and hard to gauge that from control point as to whether which RIT will pick.
Yeah, it looks like RIT really wants to go on the attack, so they really want to make sure that they can absolutely get Michigan Tech and make sure that they get all 3 points.
RIT expecting a strong start on their attack very clearly. If you're picking attack, usually it's because you're very, very confident on these kinds of maps. And it looks like, speaking of the map, it looks like it will be King's Row. So we probably will see that kind of brawl. And so we've seen RIT excel on the Arisa before. Hopefully, they can exceed once more.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if we see a monkey. Monkey would be great. Winston absolutely able to shut down any sort of character on the high ground on King's Row. I think that's really important on that first point, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen both tanks do extremely well on that kind of position. The aggressive play style was there, not too dissimilar when you're running the monkey like that. So, very exciting to see what they will go here. And kind of the teams will have some time to decide, time to plan, strategize against each other, kind of look at, okay, we know that this team really likes this specific strategy, so let's play around that. Let's go something unexpected, which might be why you see some other picks sometimes. It's running things that people wouldn't think you would typically go on a map
Exactly.
like this.
Exactly. I'm excited to see if any team decides to pick Echo. I think Echo honestly has the potential to lock down the enemy team, and especially with her ultimate, it's just nuts that you can clone a tank and then charge your ult super fast. I think that's super important, especially on attack.
For sure, absolutely. And I think you will see, maybe could see the Sojourn. Sojourn fairly strong right now. Got some buffs recently, so could see some of that. Really just depends on the preferences here. We're seeing it both teams already, waiting for some responses from some of them. So hopefully, going forward, we are getting the ready from RIT. So very exciting. We'll
Yes,
finally be headed
yes.
to Kings Row shortly. Unfortunately, not the Christmas one.
Oh my goodness, the Christmas one.
They should have picked Eichenwald. We got the
Yes,
Halloween Eichenwald.
Eichenwald is great.
And there is a bit difference between the maps, so to some extent, it does
Hmm.
matter in very, very specific situations.
Yes. Here we go, hopping into the first round of Kings Row. Let's see what RIT and Michigan Tech decide to pick out the gate. Constantly in solo queue, you just see a Widow peeking out that top window, just ready to take someone's head off.
Exactly, especially even if just at first you go the Widow, look for the pick, don't find anything, maybe make the swap. I mean, you have such a strong sight line right out of spawn, so that's definitely part of the reason. It's a very quick swap to another role if you'd like.
Okay, so we're seeing a Sombra and Farah. Looks like it's switching up to May.
I don't think we're
Ash.
gonna
Yeah.
see the Sombra Farah. I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
We are
Okay, a
seeing
Life
maybe some
Weaver,
May.
Genji.
We at least know what Michigan Tech is running because
Yes.
they're on the defense. They don't have the liberty of the constant swapping that RIT on the attack does. They're running basically what we saw before, but instead of the Brig, going the Ana.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important. The anti is just super strong, and especially against an Orisa who's just so tanky, you need to just make sure that she dies.
For sure, and RIT quickly getting out of there, all stacked on the high ground, the ring to kind of accelerate them through the choke, and very quickly engaging the Mei, kind of sneaking inside Hotel, but now they're looking for the wall. The wall here is important. It's why you run the Mei, but Soul might be making the rotation. Yeah, onto the high ground, using the wall, but will get knocked away by the coach gun. Not able to find much space with it. Now Frost looking at the back line, making the rotation through Hotel, looking for that opening pick. Not going to be able to find anything. And now Michigan Tech losing a lot of space. They need to find the pick. And they did get the nade onto Seb, but Frost will be the one to first find two onto Cheesebread and Jolo incredibly early into this engagement before really much space was gained in a Soul getting JRB. It's going to be Michigan Tech going right back to the spawn, and that will most likely be the first point.
I really liked what we saw from Essel using the wall to get aggressive on the Ashe Ana on the high ground. I think it was super important to absolutely make sure they're not on that high ground. Seb continued to push, made sure that Juno could not get any healing down. Ashe taking the high ground, just trying to get some more damage out.
Oh. Will Vol got a little bit too aggressive looking for some opening picks there, but now it looks like, yes, Seb. But far from the end of the world, as it's the objective is very close.
Michigan Tech not afraid to push through that choke, honestly, making sure RIT just can't push this payload any further than it is already.
Yeah, both sides have the Juno wall and will be looking to use it, but the Blizzard going to be coming out first, will be able to find one, and Jolo, though, finds a Soul fairly early in the Juno wall, really helping helping Michigan Tech take this fight, and unfortunately, Blackjack's ult not able to find the same amount of value.
Yeah, I don't know if many of you caught it, but Seb unfortunately had to use his ult during the Blizzard, and it did not catch anyone. And the Blizzard, while great through that choke, they could not do anything off the picks it got.
For sure. Now Michigan Tech have a huge advantage, huge ultimate advantage. RT going to have to make something work. They look for the opening pick, will not find it on the Ana, and it's going to be Michigan Tech wrapping up these picks, able to take out the Bob, not letting the Bob stick around, but the own Bob from Jolo did end up getting used along with the Nano, so definitely did not get out of this unscathed if you're Michigan Tech.
And Michigan Tech is absolutely melting that Ashe. As soon as she's able to push up, it's just deleted.
For sure. Frost constantly looking for that pick. Will not be able to find it, but the Blade,
Essel
or
in the back.
Genji, is there. Finding two
Huge.
incredibly early, but the sleep
Asleep.
is there to protect the Ana, but immediately woken up. It is going to be Michigan Tech falling. Those are really two early picks ended up making a huge difference. Going to stagger Cheesebread a little bit, but you can only stagger an Ana so much. And now, RD has the objective.
Really like Ashe here, just making sure they can get some damage down out of spawn. They really want this second point, so.
Absolutely, and Frost not yet taking the high ground, which is very interesting. The ring going to be coming out to try and speed onto Seb, but unfortunately not going to be able to find much, and now their ring has been used and Seb pushing in, but the Blizzard is there. The Juno wall to try and counter it, but there's no one who can take advantage of the Juno wall because of the Blizzard, and now RIT stuck on this low gram. Seb trying to find a pick, using the ultimate, but will not find it. And the rest of Michigan Tech just running straight past him. Seb does find Savage on the way out, but will turning this around.
I like able to just come in and counter it. Huge Genji Blade pick on the Ashe. See what they can do. Looks like they might just get caught out by the Orisa. Still living though. Absolutely
Assault just barely getting out, and now trying to make sure that JRB cannot stall. And now,
big
all
pick
right,
that Ashe and Genji are taking is absolutely crucial to making sure that you win this third point. Oh my goodness, headshot on the Juno.
JRB though finds Essel very early into this. Now they do still have the Bob available. The Dynamite does connect, but unfortunately Jolo threw the Bob on the high ground, forcing RIT to make the rotation out of here, and RIT will be able to do so just through the sheer sustain. Isaac getting incredibly low, but now Seb getting incredibly low, but all of Arisa's abilities keep her alive and will be able to do that. Now RIT has 4 ults available to them.
I think Michigan Tech is doing a really good job at calling out their targets and making sure they die when they're called out. I've seen that happen a couple times with Ashe. They can't really do much when Arisa's caught out because she just has yellow and all the heals are just looking at her. But we'll see what they do on this third point.
Yeah, really cool tech from Rescue Toast, and now it's just Seb just walking on to Michigan Tech. The Juno is there, but will not find anything. Savage just kind of wasting the ultimate, and now they're going to have to be able to engage without it. They do have Blizzard, but the blade from Assault is there. Will they even be able to touch? It does not look likely, but just barely. The Tracer is there in order to touch and will do so. The Blizzard has been thrown, will go up on the point, but unfortunately, Michigan Tech not able to touch it in time, and RIT caps with 1 minute and 27 seconds on the clock.
I really think Michigan Tech is doing a really good job at shot calling. I think they are shutting down the characters that they can shut down. I think the limitation comes down to the comp. It's really tough to catch out an Ashe sometimes, and especially a Genji who's just flying all over your screen. Like, Essel is just being just diving that back line and able to get out as fast as possible.
Absolutely, and I think we've seen what we have seen from Ariza is that very similar to Sigma in a lot of ways, where you're just kind of making that cooldown trade, exchanging cooldowns constantly, trying to win that basically rock, paper, scissors that you're going through. And luckily for RIT, Seb has been doing a really great job of doing that and has been just cycling through the cooldowns and staying up very, very well.
I really like the analogy of rock, paper, scissors. As of right now, the current state of Overwatch seems to be, people want to call it counterwatch, but, you know, sometimes that's how you win games.
Yeah, absolutely. The ability exchange very similar to that. And so now we are seeing Michigan Tech set up out of spawn once again, going to Kiriko. We saw them do this on Antarctic Peninsula, which is very interesting.
I think the cleanse here has big value against a Mei, but RIT is not really running a Mei anymore since Antarctic. I like the Brig from RIT. Oh my goodness.
Great pick from Frost. They're trying to isolate Frost there with the wall, but Isaac forced to ice block as Assault is there to apply the pressure. Now it's Assault getting a little bit low there, but will be able to find the pick along with Rescue Toast, finding Isaac very early, and now Michigan Tech not able to get any map control so far.
Yeah, right now it's just waiting and waiting. See who can get that pick first. RIT has constantly been able to just get that first pick, deal out damage, and then just absolutely shut down the fight that's in the making.
Yeah, trying to make that rotation out, throwing out the ring to engage. JRB kind of pushing down Seb, who is forced to back up. The cooldown's not quite there, but they haven't forced out Frost, but they do just in time. Savage finds the pick, relieving a ton of pressure off of Michigan Tech, who now have a lot of control over the map. The Junowall is there to help them find a soul, and now they're aggressively pushing RIT. They do not want RIT to be able to touch at the third point, and they will not be able to do so. Just all of Michigan Tech now stacking on the point, stacking on the objective, forcing RIT to play for this next choke.
I really like both DPSs on Michigan Tech. They're in the right position. May is able to wall the right people, and we'll see what they can do in these next 2 points.
For sure, JRB has the surge online, but Cheesebread ends up finding a soul really early on. A soul probably getting a little bit too aggressive and gets picked out, and now RIT at a bit of a disadvantage, forced to throw the Bob to try and deal with the aggression, but the Kitsune is there, and just that accelerates the rest of Michigan Tech forward, but not able to find any additional picks off of it. RIT knew about that and rotated away very quickly.
It's so unfortunate that SL got picked there. The problem with Kiriko is that she just does so much damage, and if you get one headshot from her, it's more than half your HP gone. So diving the backline can just be way too dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, and now we see Savage throwing out another ultimate, and now RIT ends up falling to it. It's just all of the Junowalls constantly just really making a huge difference in a lot of these fights, and now RIT doesn't have a lot to look forward to in this next engagement.
I'll tell you, it has a huge visual difference on the game, too. A giant beam of light coming down across your screen.
It's a scary sight indeed. They have the Bob, they have the Blizzard. Michigan Tech looking really great into this, and the Bob does come out just trying to find the touch, but Seb will get exploded on the point.
That's
RIT
tough.
not able to follow up, but just barely hanging on a little bit, cutting out a little bit of time off the point is a soul, allowing the team to try and look for some more picks, but now Frost just trying to get away.
Michigan Tech right here with 4 minutes and 24 seconds on the clock. This is looking like they might be RIT's time. They're in a really good position to absolutely shut them down.
Exactly. 4 minutes on the clock, looking extremely strong, and now they're going into this fight with the Kitsune available. RIT held fairly strong on that first point, but that second point looked extremely dire. Isaac now gets the wall. The Kitsune is there to apply the pressure to Seb. They are able to do so. The Bob, though, provides the peel they need, just forcing them to back off a little bit, but Jolo ends up finding Frost, and now the Blizzard there to wrap things up. There's still people on RIT left, stalling for a little bit more time. The wall, not good, not able to find anything, and RIT is able to rotate out. They will get one more fight on the objective, and they have Blizzard to do so. It is JRB with the surge, though, and will try to keep them locked up on the point. It will be difficult for RIT to touch. All of the CC is there, but just barely. They touch, and Blackjack ends up finding Cheesebread. Savage finds a pick back onto, finds two, but the Blizzard is there to find Savage, but Jolo set up for this fight, finds Rescue Toast. It's just one person. It's two people near the point, but the Surge is there to get that golden one more time now. They're chasing Jolo back to spawn with 0.02 meters before the capture.
I think right there, RIT's pick on the Kiriko was extremely crucial. No cleanse, no heals. It just really left Michigan Tech in a tough spot against that Blizzard.
Exactly. It was looking incredibly dire. Now they're going into this next point, looking to make something work. They got to force Frost off, and Isaac will. Once again, Frost falls incredibly early into the fight, which just relieves so much pressure. It lets your Ash just stay on the high ground and now throw a Bob onto the objective. The rally to try and stabilize is there, but it will be difficult to find any value with it. Isaac gets incredibly low, will be forced to ice block, but Jolo just sitting down main, looking for more picks. Isaac finds one, but Seb gets the trade back, and now Frost is there, but will eventually get extremely low and will fall as Jolo hits headshot after headshot. Wrapping things up, Savage finds Rescue Toast during the fight, and RIT just has Seb to try and stall, try and lock down this objective. Their Mei is coming back, their Ash is coming back, but Seb isn't able to hold out any longer. Their Mei currently on the point close to the Blizzard, but will likely get picked off before they're able to use it indeed. But the Bob is there, the Kitsune is there, the Lucio is there, but the Surge is there. Try and equalize it, it finds two! And now Frost ends up falling. RIT going to the ball, but it is not enough to touch.
Honestly, though, from the third point, RIT was really not in a good position. And they really put up a fight, I think. Cycling their ults properly out of spawn, getting picks when needed, and just stalling. All around stalling. I think that was super important.
Yeah, we saw them go into that third point with 4 minutes on the clock, and in the end, it still is in the favor of Michigan Tech, but not by much, just by 20 or so seconds.
I'm curious to see what they do to switch up this defense, though. I think RIT had the ability to roll them, but
Yeah, it will be interesting. Michigan Tech now forced to defend, and now we are seeing the Ana Juno. Very interesting. We didn't see them go it at first, but now they are. And we haven't really seen RIT have to deal with this before, so this is a pretty new adaptation.
and Jolo and Isaac staying on the Ash May, I think that's really strong for them. The slow on May and the Bob is just Bob carries. Period.
Absolutely. Very difficult to deal with a Bob. And I think one thing that has been a constant issue is the Frost versus Jolo has
Mm-hmm.
constantly come up.
Yes, yes, for sure. And hopefully Frost can do their best and absolutely pick Jolo, but it's been interesting fights from both of them.
Yeah, RIT very interesting. They're going into this fight and have actually chosen a dive comp, which is not something we necessarily expected, but will allow them to try and deal with Jolo, who is definitely causing a lot of problems early into that fight. Monkey also has a fairly decent matchup against Orisa, thanks to being able to penetrate armor with the lightning chain. So that is going to be in their favor. But now it's just a soul looking for the pick. The Tracer is there to help trying to find it, but now, unfortunately, Seb ends up getting picked off, and RIT, it's not looking great.
Jolo just absolutely demolishing the DPS and sending out damage. Farah into this Ash. I'm curious to see if Frost or if SL can really do anything against Jolo, because Jolo has shown that they're competent. They can absolutely get the picks when needed. SL back on Genji, so
Absolutely, and now we're seeing the engagement one more time. The peel has been there, though. They've had really struggled to try and force this Ash off, but now trying to get onto the Ana. They will be able to do so, but they're running low on time. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. RIT now staging, getting ready for this next fight, but they've given a lot of time for Michigan Tech to get their rotations. Now it's all getting incredibly low, but the peel is there. It's now Seb looking for one more pick, going incredibly high to try and avoid the damage, but unfortunately will get incredibly low, being chased in Hotel. It's a Frost that ends up losing, though, to Isaac. Seb, though, able to capitalize on that, finds the pick, and Rescue Toast with the rally will help Seb get Savage. This is looking much better now for RIT. They're trying to chase down this Ana, which has just been sitting in the objective. The Juno ult is there. The ultimates have come online for RIT just in time, and now they're looking incredibly good. They will be taking this first objective.
I think Rescue Toast right there did a really good job at popping the rally and making sure everyone stayed up while constantly sending out that damage. Getting that pick on the Ana, making sure she can't just sit and heal in one spot is super important. And it allowed the RIT to get as much ultimates as they needed to win that fight.
Absolutely. Now RIT just taking all the cap progress they can. Interesting, Michigan Tech has not taken a whole lot of space, just kind of waiting for the rest of their team before taking a good fight, because this is very, very important. And now we see the Pulse Bomb looking for it. Will not find it.
Oh,
the Pulse Bomb
unfortunate.
does stick on the ice block, but not much more than that. Now we see the Juno Wall come down, but the Blizzard, it gets deflected. Not quite. Not quite. No, that was a different thing. But a great push for RIT Orange.
I think Michigan Tech, the Jolo on Ash is absolutely shutting down. RIT has got to focus that Ash, and they are really trying to, but it just was not enough. Michigan Tech, not too bad of a push to deal with. I think they can really close it out here, especially with 20 more minutes of time, or 20 seconds more.
RT Orange looking to wrap this up and put on a really good defense. And Michigan Tech currently posed to do the same composition they've been running before. I mean, we have seen this a lot, but the Baptiste
Not
is
new.
somewhat new.
It's new. I think Cheese Bread is doing their best to swap their picks. You know, switch it up. We're not seeing much of the same character from them. We saw them on Kiriko. We saw Mercy. We saw Anna. I mean,
Will not go the Baptiste. Very sad. Going back to the Kiriko. Makes a lot of sense. You don't see Baptiste and Kiriko too often. Usually it's Yana, usually it's a Brig. Not Kiriko too much, but certainly can be done.
Seb coming out early, trying to take space. Juno just laying down heals from the back. Again, with that high ground, it's just so tough to do anything against that unless you have some characters to dive.
Yeah, now rotating around statue.
Jolo
Michigan
getting a
Tech
little aggressive.
trying to apply some pressure, but Essel has done a great job trying to keep the
Oh,
Ash off, but
good
Jolo
night.
finds an excellent pick onto Essel, and now it's Frost that also falls. RT now down all of their DPS players getting picked out. Not much for the rest of RIT to do to deal with that. Unfortunately, they lost their duels, and now they're just going to try and regroup
It's really
in time
important.
and take one more fight. But Michigan Tech has a minute on the clock.
It's really important for RIT not to get staggered there, and it was really good job from Seb to just press S key, and sometimes that's all it really takes on tank. Just press your S key. Make sure your team's behind you. Jolo going for the high ground, and Kiriko just laying down
Finds
damage.
Frost.
Good night.
Frost has been struggling in these last fights to deal with Jolo, and now JRB finds Essel once again. RIT loses both their DPS players incredibly early, and
Free
it's
reign up
going to be Michigan Tech running it down, making sure that RIT cannot touch in time. The Juno ult is there, but they don't even need it. Michigan Tech secures their first map win.
I think Michigan Tech on the May Ash, it's just so oppressive. Jolo comes in with the one pick on that back line. It doesn't matter if it's the Ash or the healer, but it's just enough for them to absolutely just win the fight that they're going to win. May with the walls, even with Orisa yellow, it's so tough sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing why Orisa has been incredibly dominant recently, just able to apply so much pressure while just simply staying alive. I mean, it's Sigma, but just currently better, just has the better brawl. And so it's currently RIT's pick, and they're going to be picking Flashpoint maps.
Yeah, I'm curious. SL, we saw a Pharah pick for a few moments. I'm curious if we'll see it again. Frost also locking in that Ash.
Yeah.
Really had a tough time against Jolo. So I'm curious if we'll see something to just hard counter an Ash at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Essel was trying to do, but just got picked out by the May incredibly early on, lost the duel against the Ash. Maybe got a little bit too aggressive. The timing between the aggression was not there with the rest of the team, and unfortunately, RIT tried a little bit too hard maybe to counter the win condition of Michigan Tech
They
instead
really
of
needed
securing their own.
ults. Yeah, they really needed ults, and switching constantly, you're just stuck. You're so stuck, and it really looks like you have no win con at that point. I really liked what I saw from Cheese Bread, not afraid to try as many heroes. So the Curie, I think, was super strong, both attack and defense. That cleanse has just been strong since day one.
Absolutely. And it's not something you usually see very often, probably at least to some extent a comfort pick, but showed pretty well against the Juno, but maybe something that RIT can abuse in the future. Kind of difficult to keep your Kiriko alive sometimes. I mean, you can apply a lot of pressure. The big thing about a lot of the supports recently is their ability to sustain teams from a distance. It's why you see the Juno so popular, and both Ana and
Baptiste.
Brig can Baptiste, but really Ana and Brig are excellent at long distances, keeping people alive. And Baptiste and Kiriko can do that, but a little bit more challenging. More
And
map dependent.
yeah, and we saw that with Rescue Toast on Brig, popping the rally to make sure RIT capped the first point, and I think it was a really good effort from them to get the card as far as they could.
For sure. And it looks like RT is currently ready. We're waiting on Michigan Tech to ready up, but Servasa is going to be our next map. Definitely an interesting pick for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited. Rescue Toast on Brig is kind of nuts. I like the Kiriko pick, the Ana pick too. I want to see Jolo on Cassidy. Uh, I know Cassidy's not that good in the meta, but you know, Jolo on the Ash is just nuts. So let's see what he can do on Cass.
Absolutely. And so currently very interesting. This is the comp. This is a flashpoint. Kind of the home of Queen. You see Junker Queen a lot on these objectives. So could see that, but Orisa fairly strong. Kind of a difficult to run the Queen into Orisa, but certainly very, very doable.
Yeah, I think Queen, with the right comp behind her, could definitely oppress the Orisa and make sure she really can't do anything. Um, like a May with the Queen to lock off the Orisa, and then just Queen just constantly doing burn or bleed damage, just will absolutely shut down that Orisa. Maybe.
Yeah, we saw glimpses of Queens and Orisas kind of early into that. So we'll see if they stick with that. Definitely will be very interesting to see some different comps go head to head. That's always very interesting to see the different win conditions. When it's a match in the mirror, both these teams are trying to achieve the same thing, but when you have different styles of compositions that win in different ways, you start to see some very different gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we might be seeing a Queen from Michigan Tech. Um, Looks like we have a swap out for the tank. Susky there now. Again, Cheesebread on the Brig and Juno on Savage on Juno. Again, Jolo locking in Ash and Isaac on May. I really think these two guys are really strong on these two characters, and I'm excited to see what RIT has to offer to counter them.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. We're seeing now Michigan Tech getting ready to go on the point. Both sides running very similar, but Michigan Tech running the Mei and the Queen instead of the Genji and the Orisa. So very, very interesting here. Usually you don't necessarily see the Mei along with the Queen, but certainly can be done. And it's going in incredibly quickly. Blackjack and a Soul find two very early into the fight. Blackjack will be falling for it though, and now it's Susky trying to take a fight, but is cornered by Seb, and it will be, this first point looks like it'll be going in the favor, at least currently, of RIT Orange.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Essel locking down Jolo and Cheesebread getting picked were super crucial to that first fight. And then it just was a piece of cake for RIT to clean up the rest of the team at that point.
For sure, and now Michigan Tech trying to get ready for this next fight to deal with Seb. How do you deal with this Orisa? You got to be able to force out those cooldowns. It's crucial, but they won't need to do that. It's Frost. Once again, ends up falling very early into the objective, and now Michigan Tech able to apply an incredible amount of pressure. Seb trying to deal with it, pops the gold, but now that's one more cooldown they won't have and will eventually fall as the 5 people are credited with the elimination on Seb. That's what it takes to kill an Orisa, but it can be done, and now
huge wall.
Isolated is the Rescue Toast and will be falling. Only Blackjack able to get out. The stagger,
fight, though.
in fact, there. Putting up a fight, they were letting him put on a fight.
True, true.
Now, they will have kind of the advantage going into this with the Juno ult.
Oh, for sure. And also the Blizzard coming up very, very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if he just popped that on site if it gets a little hairy and win the fight from that.
For sure. Only rally available to RIT along with the surge. So they're going to have to make that work. The deflect
Genji, no
is
deflect.
there, and now Savage pops the Juno ult. Will
Early
be looking
surge.
to find some value, but the surge able to force people off, but the Blizzard follows up and RIT will fall to it.
It's so unfortunate for Seb to just uh, pop surge early, hoping to get an early pick on the fight, and then just get absolutely destroyed by Blizzard. It's just really tough as a tank to do anything in that position, especially when you're really trying to make space for your team.
Absolutely, and now the point is fairly close to the previous one. That's sometimes how Flashpoint can be, so RIT trying to get set up will actually be chasing behind Michigan Tech here, just due to how their spawns were, and might catch them off guard slightly. RT does have the Bob available, looking for this Dynamite. Won't be able to
Oh,
fall.
wow.
Frost getting incredibly low. The Icicle is
Huge
constantly
May wall.
problematic, but Seb ends up finding Jolo to open up this fight. It's looking great. The ring is there, but not many people available to take advantage of the speed boosts. But Suki and Savage fine-tuned the blade to
Seb,
try and even
Essel.
it out.
Oh
Will
my
find
goodness.
Cheesebright and looking for one more. Will be able to do so. Susky and Isaac end up falling, but it did cost committing the Juno ult.
I think that was beautifully done by Seb, absolutely shutting down Michigan Tech right there, just pushing him into one room so Essel can just blade and have a free free time in there.
Absolutely. Now, the Bob, though, available for Michigan Tech. RIT going to be taking a neutral, no ultimates available to them. Trying to force out Eskel, but not quite able to do so. And Seb trying to
Taking
apply the
space.
pressure. 2 cooldowns used by the Orisa. Now is the time to apply the pressure of your Susky, and they acknowledge that. They see the cooldowns are out and make the engagement. And Jolo finds Seb, but Eskel is there to punish, finds Cheesebread pretty early on, and Susky getting incredibly low. The shout to try and save alive is there, getting the break very, very low, but just barely. Rescue Toast appeal is there and stays alive. Eskel finds Isaac very early on. There's not much left of Michigan Tech, and it's going to be going the way of RIT. 90% approaching. It looks like this is going to be RIT's first point on the map.
Despite losing their tank early on, they were able to bring it back and separate Michigan Tech. Susky had to touch point, and as soon as they did, Junker Queen had to pop shout and make sure she stayed alive. Essel just had free pickings on the back line, and they were able to close out that fight.
Yeah, now both sides don't have much ultimates except for Isaac's Blizzard and the Juno ult that just came online for Savage, so that's really going to be very, very important. The Surge is also there, and RIT just trying to play around and make the rotations, but now we see the Queen chase after one more pick, but not able to do so. Now Seb, kind of in the middle of the backline, getting incredibly low is Cheesebread, who will eventually fall, and Isaac as well. Frost finds 2 in this fight. Going the way of RIT. Jolo trying to even it out, though. Ends up getting the second pick onto Blackjack, and Frost naded will end up falling, but so will Jolo as a soul has the blade looking for the picks. The deflect on the axe comes out, and Susky ends up falling.
Yeah, I really think Essel brought it back there with the blade. Despite the Juno ult, the Bob was good placement too. Jolo couldn't even do anything after those 2 picks, and just it was really tough.
Yeah, and really, RT didn't have to spend much to win that fight. They still have tons of ultimates available to them. The ring is going to be coming out, but not many people can take advantage of it.
Early surge again?
Going for the early surge, won't find much. Cheesebread forced to pop the rally, but the Juno ult is there to try and keep Seb alive, and it will do so. Blackjack ends up finding Susky, and Isaac falls as well. Michigan Tech trying to rotate out, just looking for some picks as they leave, but Cheesebread, will they be able to get out? Oh, not quite, as Rescue Toast applies the burn to Cheesebread.
I'm interested to see what Michigan Tech has cooked up here with the Bob. Not much ults to work off of here, but we could see something if Seb decides to get a little bit too aggressive.
Exactly, but they aren't able to touch in time. This will be going the way of RIT, taking the second map on the Flashpoint, just needing one more for the map win. Michigan Tech trying to make that not happen. They do have the Bob available to them to help them out.
Rescue Toast also has Rally, so worst case scenario. Oh, early Bob.
Oh,
Oh,
Frost
Isaac
goes
just
down.
absolutely shutting down Frost.
Isaac has been just applying constant pressure, and Issel trying to make something happen, trying to make a play to even it out, but won't be able to do so. It's just Blackjack just dying
Jolo
on
gets
the
a
point to reset with the rest of their team.
wow. Just wow. Isaac on the May is a menace, man. Their walls have been insane along with their icicles, just shooting them and getting those headshots. It's really important to do that on May. Um, I feel like on May you can really just AFK at some points.
Yeah, just throwing those right clicks in. Eventually, one of them will connect. And now RIT slowly pushing up to the objective. Isaac getting incredibly
Four
low.
ults
No
though,
ice block
Juno
available.
ult.
Will end up falling, and the Queen
Oh,
almost gets pushed off, but not quite. But is now still incredibly low. Susky will end up finishing the job anyways, jumping off the map to reset with the rest of the team.
yeah, I think it was super important for Michigan to wipe right there. They knew they weren't going to win the fight. They don't have ult advantage, but now they do. So this next fight um, has a lot of potential, especially with Rally Blizzard and even Junker Queen ult. That anti on as many people as you can is super important at this stage in the game.
For sure. Both teams have a lot of ultimates to work with going into this, and the Bob is going to be the first one used. And now the Juno ult, the wall is there to try and punish, but it's a
There it
Sturt
is.
that tries to deal with it, but the ult, the rampage from Susky ends up cleaning up 3. And now Michigan Tech retaking the point.
As soon as that wall breaks, I think that JQ ult was insane right there. Just getting as many people as you could in that is just gonna absolutely turn a fight.
Yeah, you're looking to try and hit it with the Javelin, but once the Javelin is used, that just frees up the Queen ult. But RT has Blade online. Eskel looking for it, has used
Going for it.
to great success. Now looking
Oh,
for the
Coach
Ash,
gun.
but the rally to try and deal with it is there, and now Eskel forced to retreat. But the rally now is out, has been committed very, very early into this fight, so that's really great to see. The Dynamite finding 3 is it a lot of pressure, but Seb now needs to stay alive. The Golden is there, but 5 people
Jolo
once
bomb.
again kill the Orisa. Everyone focusing the Orisa down, and
There
that's
it is.
exactly what Michigan Tech needed to win the point.
It might be really tough for them in the next fight, though, because they don't have ult advantage, and Juno ult is super strong. I think they really need to build a lead early so they can have something to fall back on this last objective.
For sure. Frost just poking at these rotations, trying to get some ult charge, and will do so. The Dynamite is good. Finds a dink onto Savage, who will just heal up, but now the rest of the team is there to punish. Seb trying to find the May that had already used the Ice Block,
Wow.
but then both Mays will end up trading as Susky ends up finding the pick onto Eskel, but Seb now looking for more, looking for the Ash, and the Bob is there to help. Need a
Oh,
hand.
huge
Bob is there.
spear.
The Javelin finds Savage, and now there is no one left to stop RIT from taking the point.
I think the Bob right there was super important. Just made sure that they got enough damage to take down Michigan Tech. Isaac did a really good job at staying alive as long as possible, but it just wasn't enough. We'll see what's next because Juno ult plus Junker Queen ult and Rally and Blizzard. Looks like this next fight might be Michigan Tech's.
Yeah, we're seeing the Rampage come out first, and is going to only find the Orisa, but Orisa is all they need. Both Juno ults coming out from both sides. The Blizzard is there, able to find Rescue Toast and
Top
Blackjack. The Blizzard is good. It will very quickly go the way of Michigan Tech, but not before committing a couple of ults to do so.
I like Essel switching to May. I think against the Junker Queen, if you can wall her off, no matter how much healing she has, it's just done for.
Exactly, and now we're looking for more. Essel going to try to find this Blizzard. The Blizzard is going to be incredibly important, and they don't have a whole lot of ways to deal with that. So previously, Michigan Tech had the ult advantage. Now RIT has the ult
Going in.
advantage. They're
Looks
going
like he
for the
wants the
Surge,
Surge.
combined with the Blizzard. The wall is there to lift the Orisa up, but the Blizzard is good. It ends up finding Jolo, and a lot of cooldowns now out. The Rally not able to do much as Cheesebread gets incredibly low, forced to retreat. just the supports left for Michigan Tech, along with Susky, who does find Rescue Toast on the way out, but Susky actually still alive, still living,
Wow.
looking for more. The healing just from Queen's abilities are there, but eventually RIT does find the pick, but really RIT had the point that entire time. That was great for RIT. That's a massive stagger. This is the last fight. They don't have anyone to touch.
Yeah, I really liked what we saw there from the Orisa May. I think that all combo just secured the fight for them, even though May was able to wall up Orisa.
Yeah,
Oh, Frost Bob. Oh my
the
goodness.
Frost Bob and the wall is all RIT needs to take the win, the
Map
victory
3.
on Suravasa.
Really liked what we saw. We didn't see as much of a domination from Jolo, but Isaac's May is, that's awesome to watch. Seb definitely really liked that aggressive surge in the beginning of the fights. I think sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But at the end there, he brought it all back with the May and the surge.
Yeah, really great plays, and I believe that's exactly the victory that RIT needed in order to take the win
Mental swing
over
right there.
Michigan Tech. Exactly. That is a huge victory. So great job from all of the players. Actually, that was a unexpected error, maybe. We'll see what happens. Maybe some RIT weirdness, but yeah, really great plays on Suravasa. Some very interesting from the way both sides just adapted to try and deal with it. Really stuck with. We didn't see any counters. Really, it's both sides. One wanted to play the queen and one wanted to play the Orisa.
Yeah, and I really liked the Junker Queen too. Anytime they had the ult up, it just was a demolish, and I mean, I just always replay that. I really like seeing that Junker Queen ult after the May wall that allowed Michigan Tech to get that second point.
Exactly. They played exceptionally well. Both sides really did. And that was a really close series. I mean, it's not very often you see Flashpoint go to the third map win.
Exactly, yeah.
So really great plays. And even on King's Row, it was incredibly close. But I believe that is it for this match. So well done on both sides. And congratulations, RIT Orange, for their victory over Michigan Tech. For those watching, thank you for checking out the Playfly Varsity premiere with RIT Orange, and we hope to see you again next time.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
Oh shit, you're not plugged in.
No, we're plugged in. We're
All right, going back into Coliseum after a little bit of an intermission just to get our fake fans out of here. And only the
True.
true fans that were still watching the stream are still here, ready to cheer on RIT Orange. And now we are seeing kind of what we have seen before. It's the same at Risa Comp, the same, Juno, except maybe the Lucio from Savage.
Yeah, I really think Ash is strong right now because we have not seen anything else from Jolo. Absolutely dominating there. Isaac again on the May. I like this Lucio pick. Could be just for the speed boost. Looks like we're switching up to Arisa Juno. Looks like that's just the meta right now.
For sure. I mean, you see that a lot. And now we're going into this next fight, and it's going to be interesting. Both sides running the May. We've kind of seen one team go the May, the other team not go the May, and now both teams are running the May. It is exactly a mirror. Sadly, no Lucio. Makes sense, Juno. Fairly strong right now. Ability to heal at range, incredibly good, and very interesting to see where Michigan playing kind of taking advantage of the high ground, taking advantage of the glass that has been removed.
Interesting to see right here. May getting caught out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, will be fall. SL finds Isaac incredibly early, and that's exactly what RIT is looking for. Now the May is down, so they can be entirely aggressive. They just need to make sure that they are respecting the angle that Jolo is playing on, and Frost looking for those picks. Michigan Tech waiting for the respawns, waiting for Isaac to come back before they take another fight. Sending the ring even to get Isaac back even faster, and looking for one more pick. Getting very aggressive there is a soul, but unfortunately does not find anything, and Frost gets incredibly low at 1 health, but is healed up. Seb, though, kind of left alone a little bit, and the dynamite is good, finding a lot of value, and ultimates slowly getting charged. It's going to be Blackjack
Briggs
that
low.
gets the ultimate online first. They will have that available to them, but Isaac finds Frost. Now, RIT currently down their Ash, down their Juno. No more Juno ult available for them. And finally, Michigan Tech
Isaac
takes
coming
the
back
objective.
with a vengeance, though. Getting picked out early in that first fight and said, we ain't doing this.
Exactly, and really they didn't have to spend any ultimates in order to do it. Michigan Tech now has basically 5 ultimates available to them, in RIT not in a too dissimilar state. Will have many ultimates available for them, but it's going to be difficult. RIT probably should have used those pretty early on to that last fight, but they didn't. Instead of getting a little bit aggressive, and now the Juno ult comes out to try and apply the aggression, and the Savage is going to be able to find Blackjack. Frost falling as well. RIT not able to put up much of a defense against the aggression of Michigan Tech.
Yeah, Seb just really struggled to stay alive right there. JRB really just capitalizing on that Juno ult, taking that damage boost and just pushing forward. Sometimes that's what you just need to do on a tank.
For sure. Assault on the comfort pick, going the Genji now. Really interesting. RIT now has ultimates to match Michigan Tech. The ring comes out to throw the Orisa into the fray.
We could see a surge
and
here.
They will do so. The Bob is also out, but now the Juno ult for RIT is going to allow them to take space, and now Frost ends up finding, but Seb with the 2 on the Terror Surge is good. Frost Bob also finding Isaac. RIT making quick work of Michigan Tech.
And it was really good job from RIT making sure that Michigan Tech could not get that closer spawn. We'll see if they can take it all the way at this point.
Now, RIT has rally up for this next fight, but it's going up against a lot. They have the Blizzard and they have the Surge for Michigan Tech. So now the ring is in. Both teams are engaging. They're throwing their Orisas at each other, but it's going to be Jolo that finds a pick onto Frost. The headshot is good. The Surge doesn't find much, but forces the rotation away. And during that time, Cheesebread ends up finding a soul, kind of stuck in the backline. RIT now just trying to get out, trying to reset and not give any more picks to Michigan Tech.
Yeah, if RIT can really shut down this second spawn, I think it'd be huge. It's going to be really tough for them to regroup and get back in time once the robot pushes. We will see Juno ult from Savage, and Rescue Toast has Rally.
For sure. Now they're looking for it. The wall is
Seb
good.
stuck.
Going to force Seb to explain some cooldowns, and the Blizzard
Blizzard
is
from
also
Isaac.
there. Doesn't find anything, but Savage does find Frost amid all the chaos, but they're getting close to the Blade. Assault looking for the Blade. Now has it, but not before JRB finds Rescue Toast and Blackjack. Not looking good for RIT. They have ultimates online, but they will be giving up the first checkpoint.
I really like the discipline from Essel right there. Just getting the blade and not just insta-popping it on the back line. Just saying, you know what? My team's not here. I need to just play with them.
Frost getting some revenge, finds Jolo incredibly early into the fight, so that's going to open it up. Maybe RT not really even forced to spend many ultimates, kind of going in their side. The wall is good to split up Seb, but the pressure is not there to try and punish it. Getting incredibly low is Assault, but ends up making it out okay. The Juno ult is there from Savage to apply some more pressure, and it does end up getting the rally out, but looking very difficult for Michigan Tech to make this work, but some of their spawns are back, and RIT now walking to the objective, and Frost Bob ends up finding Jolo in the middle of all of it, just kind of taking their own fight, and now they're going into this next one with a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, we should see an Orisa ult from Michigan Tech, and Bob and Blizzard coming up soon. Genji pops Blade, just trying to get as much as they can. May ice blocked, walled off. Okay. Surge.
Sure. Just able to get Rescue Toast, which is huge. That's exactly what you
Another
want if you're
surge.
Michigan Tech. Blackjack does find Jolo, making this a little bit more difficult, but the Bob is still there, and RT going to be rotating out to try and take another fight somewhere close to the center of the map. Looks like they will be doing exactly that. The Dynamite is good right above JRV's head, and now they're looking for this Blizzard. We're looking, Isaac, waiting for an opportunity. RIT doesn't have a whole lot of tools to deal with it,
Oh,
but
wow.
they actually do. Their gun dealt with that problem just fine. Frost finds Isaac very early on, which is going to make it way easier for RIT to take this first checkpoint.
Yeah, I think that second spawn is going to be massively crucial for this next fight. Not many ultimates to counter this Blizzard coming out and Juno ult, but we'll see what RIT can do.
Yeah, the ring gets thrown to send their Orisa into the backline, but now Orisa, JRB doesn't have a whole lot of cooldowns, getting a little bit low, but the Juno ult is there to keep them up, but Jolo finds Frost. Savage also finds Blackchat during all of it. The Juno ult is good, but Eskel actually gets a deflect kill onto Isaac, and Seb finds two, but JRB, Jolo still looking, but spun off the map is JRB. Seb looking great. Now it's just them and Jolo fighting it out. Jolo trying to find an opportunity to get one more pick here, but Seb not making it easy. Probably needs to make the rotation out right now if they want to live, and they will. Eventually, it does go back on the side of Michigan Tech, but it's still not looking great.
Yeah, I think Essel did a really good job right there getting trade kills as much as possible. Seb doing a great job making sure, even though he was the only one left alive, he just S-keyed back to his team and made sure that they could all get back safe. Still Blizzard from Isaac here. We could see a Blade and Blizzard. Oh my goodness. Blade and Blizzard.
The Blade ends up getting two ults out. Just so much respect to Blizzard and the rally. But Jolo does take advantage of all of it. Finds Blackjack, but not before Seb. Also finds Cheesebread. Savage finishing off Seb, who had just finished the ultimate. And Essel going low and dying as well to Isaac. RIT trying not to get staggered now. Trying to die with their ultimates intact. They still have the rally. They still have the Juno ult. And there's a minute and 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah. With this push, Michigan Tech's in a really good position to retake that lead and just win the match at this point.
For sure, Jolo has the Bob and their Surge online, and importantly, the Juno ult is also there, but Seb is actually on the objective, and is getting run down by a Junewald. Isaac finds Essel early on, but not before Savage for the win also ends up falling. Seb trying to make something work, trying to make something happen, going into the backline, chasing down
Really
the
wants
brig.
this
The
brig.
cooldowns are there and will find it. And now focusing down JRB. JRB is getting incredibly low and will die to Blackjack, and Rescue Toast ends up finding Isaac. This is not looking good if you are Michigan Tech. RIT currently already has the
huge.
lead and has just regained control of the objective and is going to be getting rid of the close spawns.
I think that was a big fight for RIT that they needed to win. Michigan Tech was in a really good position to retake that lead and just close it out.
For sure. Now Seb trying to make something happen, looking for an opportunity here. Probably thought the blizzard was going to be coming out and did the spin, but ended up not eating the blizzard. It's still something that they have to be aware of. The ice block is there, and JRB finds Rescue Toast early on, and Blackjack also is going to fall. JRB finds Frost. RIT quickly collapsing, not putting up much of a resistance, and Michigan Tech didn't really have to spend much to do it.
We're here for an interesting overtime. This match has just been a ping pong. You know, RIT gets a good play on their side of the map, pushes it, and then Michigan Tech is just there and ready to capitalize on the counter.
Exactly. Seb needs to be ready to touch. They don't have a lot of space to give before they give up the lead, and Seb is currently there. The players are there. The Bob going in. The
Huge
Blizzard
surge.
to try and counter it, and the rally as well. The Terra Surge does find Jolo, though, going down pretty early on, and JRB ends up dying to the blade. Escol finds it, but Savage finds two. Both
might be
supports
it,
of
ladies and
RIT, but it's
gentlemen.
not going to be enough.
That
The
might
rest
be
of
it.
RIT ends up cleaning up the fight, and RIT takes the map win.
Wow. Yeah.
And the game.
Game, set, match. RIT closing it out right there in an intense overtime bout. The surge from Seb at the end was huge.
Yeah, we're even seeing, this is, I think, might be the second play of the game that Seb has gotten, and honestly, put on an excellent performance. You know,
Right here.
they are
Wow.
a very classic Orisa player with that, the Orisa shield as their play of the game. You love to see it. I have mine as the bongo. But
Oh my gosh.
really, really fun match from both these teams playing extremely well, but RIT put on a great performance on Colosseo.
Yes. I really like that map, and like I said, ping pong match. You know, one team does good, then they go to the other side of the map. Boom. Michigan or RIT just absolutely shuts them down. Really great matches today, though. Really fun to watch, and I'm so glad that this was my first experience with this.
Exactly. Really great plays from both teams. Both sides played excellently, and congratulations, RIT Orange, for real this time, winning the
Yes.
map against Michigan Tech. But that is going to be all for the Playfly Overwatch 2 Varsity Tournament. So congratulations to RIT Orange, and hopefully you'll catch us again.
Yes, for sure. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a